David, before we let you go, I just had one question as well for you. The proportional representation. I believe this is a plan basically set up so that no one party will ever have control in the UK.
Well, what keeps coming up is when you follow a news day, you know what the song sheet's been at the start of the day, because all these guys around here just keep repeating it. Now, you remember on election night, the mantra was stable government and all that stuff. They're already building for this, what's going on now. And the mantra over the last 24 hours has been the Progressive Alliance. I mean, Progressive Alliance, the Labour Party is part of a Progressive Alliance. So it's now progressive to pepper bomb a country on a basis of bloody lies, kill at least and maim at least 1 million bloody people and growing. That's progressive. You know, these are all newspeak, Orwellian words that are different ways of saying tyranny. And so this Progressive Alliance is this centre, so-called left of centre, actually far bloody right, if you want to use those terms, creating its area within British politics, so that it just keeps at elections through changes in the voting system perpetuating itself. And we have a situation, see, in South Africa, for instance, which is supposed to be a democracy, where the ANC is so totally in control that whoever gets elected head of the ANC is the president of the country. Now, once you get a one-party state masquerading as two parties, which they're kind of trying to get going here, then you have the same thing. We had it with Brown. He became leader of the Labour Party, became Prime Minister of the country. Sorry, can I be saying this? Now if Miliband gets voted in the Labour Party the way they want to swing it, then he could possibly become Prime Minister without a vote being cast by the public for him to take that office. And this is what they're doing. They call it the centre ground. I'll tell you a quick story. Many years ago now, back in the 1990s, I met an Oxford Don, a woman. She was quite elderly by then, and she worked in certain areas of government, and she was very much a researcher into the intelligence agencies and their background. And she said to me, and she put this in writing to the government, a government committee, I think it was the Nolan Committee on, doing the right thing in public life, honesty and all that stuff, which of course has not happened. Surprise, surprise. But so she's actually put this officially down as well, and she said that she was at Oxford University in the 1940s, and people thought in the Communist Party there that she was one of them, and they had this meeting where there was a speaker. And she got invited in because, quite wrongly, they thought she was one of them. The speaker stood up, 1940s, and he said that he represented a secret society that had two wings. There was a political wing and there was a biological wing. He was head of the political wing, he said, and therefore at some point he would become Prime Minister of Britain. He said that what would happen is that politics would be pushed onto a middle ground, so that basically there was no difference between them. And what he said they were going to do, 1940s, like I say, they were going to put their people on the right wing of the Labour Party and on the left wing of the Conservative Party, because he said British people instinctively don't like extremists. Right? Well, it's happened. The speaker that night was Harold Wilson.
Oh, there you go.
Who became Prime Minister of this country for a long time in the 60s and 70s.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
It's all orchestrated.
It's all pre-selected. It's all theatre.
That's what's happening here. It's just the next major stride in turning this country into a one-party state.
Yeah.
So who do you think is next?
Well, in many ways, obviously you don't know how the cookie's going to crumble, but in many ways, this country now, if you want to know what's going on, you just look at what Peter Mandelson was.
Yeah.
Now, Peter Mandelson is one of the great slithery characters in modern British history.
Cold-blooded, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, he's a front man for the House of Rothschild. He goes on holiday with them and all the rest of it. So what Mandelson wants is what the Rothschilds want. And you've got a man here who has come into government in a so-called democracy, and not one single vote has been cast in his favour.
Yeah.
He's just been appointed a member of the House of Lords with that silly bloody thing they wear, the ermine and all that bloody nonsense, which he would love. And he's been controlling this Labour government since he got back through these years of Brown. And he's just been appointed out of nowhere. Once again, recurring theme. No one in this country's had a say in doing that. And his man, again, you're always, things can always go wrong for them from their point of view. But his man is David Miliband. It looks like he's been orchestrating and manipulating on his behalf for a long time. You know, and I wrote 3 weeks ago in an article that no matter what happened here, Brown was absolutely doomed because he was on Mandelson's hit list. And Mandelson's been behind his back with a knife in his hand all the way along, just running it along. Oh, you'll get the next election, then we'll get rid of him. And of course, within days, it's happened. And it's Mandelson's behind it. And then you've got this guy, Alistair Campbell,